True love stories never have endings. That is a very strange quote. I don't know who said that, but I've heard this quote before. And I think for the most part, it's true. True love stories don't have endings or never have endings. And I think what that quote is trying to say, and I know I'm getting very philosophical here, guys. I know. But it's what it's trying to say is that if that loving someone is a never-ending story. There is no end to true love. It's like never ending. You will if you love someone, you will love them till the end, including their faults, their faults, their issues or whatever, bro. Even their everything. You'll love everything about them, right? Because if you truly love someone, nothing will be a turnoff for you because you care about them as an individual, not the exteriors, not their looks, not their everything else, right? And I know, Chris, you're probably wondering, Christian, why the hell are you mentioning this? Like, why are we getting philosophical with a romance quote? Bear with me. I know I'm going on a tangent, but the reason why I'm talking about this is because I've been reading a lot of romance manga. I've been like deep diving into various romance mangas, looking for new mangas to cover on this channel and talk about, right? For Manga Look. You guys obviously know my series where we cover the first chapter of a manga. I can spoil that for you guys, and use that as a gateway or introduction for you guys to the story. Hopefully, trying to get you guys to click to it and be like, "Oh right, I like that story. Let's read that." And there we go. So that's how we start this video. So the manga for this video today is Hokago wa Kissaten de. I don't know if I pronounced that right. That's the Japanese name. The English name for it is After School at the Coffee Shop. Okay? The title will be in the video so you guys can see it, right? It's a very nice love story between a young girl named Yanagi Riku, right? Who has a hard time, like, within chapter 1, Yanagi Riku has a hard time talking about with her friends and people she cares about in her life about the things she likes. And I know what you're thinking. Christian, what is this girl, Yanagi, like so much that she has a hard time, talking to people about it? That is old school. She likes very retro things, very old things, very antiquated, eccentric, that type of thing. I don't want to go really deep into it, right? It's a very nice story, right? And so one day while she's talking to her friends, right, she recently got a haircut and her friends are like complimenting on her and she's having a conversation and the topic of romance brings up. Her friends ask her who she likes, like what kind of guy she's interested, right? Or like they're trying to pick out a guy, right? And so she responds that she's not really interested in anybody, but as she says that, it pulls back and it shows us a nice panel of her looking at a very shy, dark-haired boy. His hair is black. It's not black. It's brown. But the manga portrays it as black, but it's really brown, right? This boy his name is Yushimi, and he gets asked the same thing by one of his classmates, and he gets asked. Now he doesn't get asked the same thing. One of his buddies asked him about wanting to play a game with him, and they're looking for people for a guild. It's like an online RPG, a phone RPG, and he says that he's not interested. This is after Yanagi says that if she could choose a guy, she probably likes Fushimi-kun, and her friends are like, "Really, Fushimi? You mean the guy that's very cold and unapproachable?" And she's followed by that scene that I told you about the phone, right? But then it goes into a very introspective thing that she likes him because he's like very unconscionable. He's the basic type of guy, and she likes him because he's about that. He's basic. He likes him because he's basic. He acts strangely, but she likes that about him. She goes on like this tangent about the little things she likes about him, and then she says, she starts to come to the sudden realization maybe she's a fucking weirdo because she likes a very plain guy, but that's also weird, and she has this weird list of things she likes about the guy, right? And so she starts to question that she might be a weirdo, and she probably thinks, I'm probably a little different from your average girl, right? That's her thought. Then right, as the time goes by, she gets invited by her friends to like a nice little crepe shop, which she doesn't want to go to really because she has her own hobby, right? She likes to visit cafes that that are very, like I said, antiquated or old school, right? She doesn't like the cutesy cafes that Japan is very known to have, like the cat cafes, the maid cafes, the dog cafes, the anime cafes, etc., right? The moe cafes, because Japan has an endless fucking supply of these shops. I don't know how they make any money, but they have an endless supply of these shops, right? She basically dips her friends. She says that she has something else to do because she doesn't want to go to the restaurant they're going to because she's not interested in the cutesy cafe, right? She basically goes and she finds a really old school cafe shop, right? Because she likes the very retro feeling. There's even a panel where she says, "Huh? I can't get enough of this retro feeling." So you can tell that this girl's already weird because she's into very retro, very retro aesthetics. Like we're talking about, like this coffee shop has that like English feel to it in terms of retro aesthetics, like old school English where you find people with their tea, with their coffee cup, that type of aesthetic. So she enters it because she found it on a newspaper that the coffee shop basically, a lot of old people highly recommended it, right? Because it's in an alley and stuff, and she wanted to she wanted to visit it because she likes it, and she finds it hard to admit to her friends that she likes that sort of thing. So she visits it, and she said that I thought I could share my hobby with someone else, but it's kind of impossible. I can't get along with them, right? Not only that, if it's just me, then I can enjoy my hobby without worrying whether I bother others, right? So she's in the mindset that hey, as long as I don't tell my friends about this hobby, I don't have to bother them, and I get to enjoy it peacefully, right? Well, as she enters, she's enamored with how cool the jazzy mood in the fucking coffee shop is, and how stylish the interior is, and all that stuff, right? And lo and behold, while she's walking in, being enamored with it all, she runs into the very guy she's admitted in class to liking, Fushimi, right? Fushimi, who happens to be working at this very godsend of a coffee shop that she was mentioning before. She's like, huh, you're here, Fushimi-kun? And Fushimi has no idea who she is. So she's like, it's me, Yanagi, right? Yanagi-kun, in the same class, and he's like, is that so? He's like, please wait for a moment, and he takes her order and he asks about the blend because this is a very traditional coffee shop. They have very specific blends, and especially this coffee shop, which he later states, makes a blend specific to the person, but they have to get to know them first, right? She goes on this tangent, freaking out because she never expected to run into Fushimi-kun, and how it's like she's wondering if it's his part-time job, and she thinks that he's gonna judge her, all that stuff, typical high school girl mentality. She's worried that this pretty good-looking dude, because I'm gonna say right here, I'm not gay, but Fushimi is very attractive in terms of anime standards. He's your prototypical attractive protagonist. You know what I mean? While she's freaking out, she ends up watching Fushimi take a guy's order, and she ends up being very surprised about how cool and kind he is, and how he smiles while making coffee, something that she did not get to see in class, especially after she went on like this tangent about what she liked about him, right? And she freaks out because it's the first time she's seen him smile, prototypical stuff. He looks at her and she's excited about getting to see something, and she's wondering why he's polite, because like again, Fushimi is very, very rough at school. He's not good with people, right? Which is obvious by the fact that by how I said in the beginning, he straight up told one of his friends to fuck off, that he doesn't want to play in his guild. Right? She asks him about how he works here, and he says yes, but it belongs to his family. They have this nice conversation, right? He says, my father runs the shop, but he got some lower back pain and can't work. So right now I'm watching the store in his place. Turns out that this beautiful coffee shop she likes is owned by Fushimi's father, right? And he's working the coffee shop in the afternoons, which is what he mentions, that he only works it in the afternoons on weekdays because his father's back is injured and he can no longer work and run the shop. He then proceeds to ask, why are you here, Hinagi? And she's like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean it in a weird way or anything. I was just a little curious because I don't get customers that are the same age as me. She gets freaked out because of how, assertive Fushimi is. Like, again, he's just an awkward fellow. He's very straightforward. And he ends up clarifying to her, why, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to offend you. I just wanted to ask because this coffee shop is, old people come here. You don't get many young whippersnappers to come, right? She then goes on to say, it's just a hobby of mine, that she likes to visit nice little cafes. She gets worried that he might judge her for it. He looks at her and then basically replies, hey, well, drink some coffee a bit and relax. She thanks him and proceeds to say, it's just the right amount of bitterness and acidity. And Fushimi says, coffees are specialty after all. At first, we make a blend that calm people no matter who it is, which is what I was mentioning, right? That they have a specific blend that they start off with, and then they tailor it to the person as they get to know him, which he proceeds to say. After that, we talk a bit with the customer, and once we've come to know that person somewhat a bit better, we serve them a cup of coffee that suits them, right? Like I said before, very nice. This is like a very interesting beginning to a romance. Like, two people, two old souls, clearly, because they both like this old retro stuff, meeting each other, right? So he's like, so the next time I bring out some coffee and you find it is even better than the current cup, that would mean I've properly come to understand you, Yanagi. I'm not that good at talking, but I'm pretty good at listening, I think. I don't mind if you want to have a casual conversation with me. And then we have a nice little panel of Yanagi being really surprised. He's like, somehow he really has a different atmosphere here than he has at school. I wonder what it is. And she's kind of happy that she gets to be the only one to see it, right? And then he goes to say, actually, I always loved this. And parentheses, it says she really likes Fushimi, but she can't admit that, not yet, right? And he's like, and then she freaks out, not like that. Which stuns Fushimi, and he looks at her with bright glowing eyes, right? And then he goes, although all the girls around me likely like to dress stylish and go to chew cafes, I'm the only one to have an unpopular hobby like this. I don't have a hobby that matches up with the ones everyone else has. So I always like have fun by myself. So today I gathered up all the courage and visited this coffee shop that I always thought looked nice, but. And then he replies, me too. I also like those kind of unpopular things. He's basically responding to her, hey, don't worry about it. I like the old retro things just as much as you do. You're not weird for liking it. He's like, for real? And he's like, yeah, I also like looking at shrines and temples. And he's like, And she's like, I know, right? Seeing how wood can be used for the dead really pumps you up. And then he starts to laugh because it's a really crazy statement that to say to someone. And she's like, what? He's like, no. He's like, so this is what talking to Yanagi is like, I see. And he has a very the Riz smile, I like to call it. If you, for those who are wondering, I will be putting like the panels, like the specific panels. I'm here. Not all of them, just some of them, so you know what I'm talking about, because I don't want to get copyrighted. So, you know, but there will be some panels to accompany this video, so it's not me just ranting or talking, right? And then he goes to say, just this kind of thing is making me so incredibly happy. And she's like, Fushimi-kun, if it's not a bother, can I come here again? And then he says, if that makes Yawanagi happy, then she can. And so, oh, then he asks, oh, please do keep it a secret from others that I work here, because he doesn't want people to make fun of him because he works in a coffee shop. I don't know who the would make fun of someone working in a coffee shop, but I guess that's a thing in Japan. Something I've noticed from reading these Japanese like high school romances is that fucking Japanese kids like, or people's perception of, or mangaka's perception of what Japanese kids make fun of each other for is really weird. It's really weird. I hope to God that in Japan you don't get made fun of for that sort of thing, but I don't know. I'm not Japanese. Right, and she says that she won't tell anybody, and then he says only Yanagi knows. And then he says, don't you, and then she remembers a conversation about being difficult to approach, and she says he isn't like that at all. I knew it. Fushimi-kun is really nice. She knew it from the beginning, from looking at him, that despite the way he carried himself, he's actually a very nice young man. She ends up heading home, jumps on the bed, freaks out, and starts to like do the girl kick thing on the bed, with her feet, freaking out about how she had a good day, and she thought that meeting Fushimi-kun at the coffee shop was destiny, and how she recalls all the things he said, like he also likes the same things she likes, and that he didn't mind to have a conversation like that with her. She ends up reminiscing about it, and then saying things like, being able to talk about the things I like makes me really happy after all, because she never had that, and meeting Fushimi-kun brought that to her. It's really cute, bro. Like, this is a really good, really cute and wholesome story. We then continue to her waking up or not being able to sleep because she's remembering him, and she's remembering him in a very sparkly fashion, and basically her heart squeezed and says that she loves him. Typical high school girl things. She says, oh, good morning, and she says, morning, Riku. What are you being so nervous? And then she says that she's not, and then someone says morning to Fushimi again, and Fushimi, she says good morning, and Fushimi-kun again, because he's very awkward, doesn't respond at all, and that's the end of chapter 1. It's a very cute story, but the first chapter ends with Riku saying a sudden cold reaction strikes Riku. Now this gets fixed up pretty quickly in the next chapter. I'm not going to mention it because that's for you guys to read. I want you guys to go read it. The story is finished. I think it's about 50 something chapters. It's a really nice, short, condensed romance manga that I'm sure you guys will like. And I think sometime in the future, I think if enough people read this, which is probably why I'm spreading it out, it might get animated. And I would love to watch this one get animated, because I think it'd be one of the very popular romance animes out there if it were to get animated, because it's really good. Really wholesome. So there you have it. That's the first chapter of Hokago wa Kissaten de, or after school in the coffee shop, right? It's really wholesome. It gets even more wholesome than this, and don't worry, despite Fushimi-kun's cold reaction in the classroom after meeting her in the coffee shop, it gets explained that it gets explained why. I'm not gonna say why, but it gets explained. And then they make up quickly. It's really good. This story has the right amount of drama. There is drama, there is a love rival, but on both ends, actually. Riku has to compete with another girl for Fushimi. She's not introduced yet until later. And Fushimi has to compete with another guy for Riku, and this is something unique. It's not like a four-way, right? At all. It's like, but it's unique to have a competition for both of them, so both of them have to lock the fuck in and not, fuck it up for each other. But it's wholesome. Like it's a wholesome rivalry between them and the other people. It's not aggressive. It's not mean. It's not bullying or anything. It's really wholesome. This whole manga is like it's like drinking a Pepsi. A lot of sugar. It's really good. That's a weird analogy, but it's like drinking a Pepsi. But yeah, it's a really good story, and I recommend you guys read it. I know I did read it, and I loved it. But yeah, that is. Remember, Hokago wa Kissaten de. The name will be in the description. I will put it in the description. It would also be in the beginning of the thing, or after school in the coffee shop. Thank you guys for watching the video. And as always, if you guys enjoyed this video and would like future videos about me talking about other obscure manga, because I have a whole list of them that I want to get to. Some other YouTubers might have covered it too, but I'm covering it, but a little bit differently. I think this is a unique take for me. But yeah, if you guys like it, leave a like. I greatly appreciate that. Leave a comment on whether you liked it or not down below. I always appreciate when people comment like, for example, I like the manga, thanks for the recommendation, or even talk about how they feel about it. I don't mind negative criticism too. If you guys don't like it, that's cool too. I'm not gonna get mad about it either. But yeah, and also remember to subscribe, because every channel needs a lot of subscribers to help them grow, and that would be greatly appreciated. And buenos días, buenas tardes, buenas noches, and adiós.